This is Improvement Podcast coming to you. Hope everybody's doing good, especially on a day like this. We still got the pandemic going on. We still are in that time. It's slowing down, picking up, slowing down, picking up. But in this time, it's really, for me, it feels like a time for self-reflection. Time to get it together. Time to back up, see what's going wrong, and figure out options to be able to fix yourself for when things get back into normal. So those same options that you were sad about, or those things that you weren't able to do, or you didn't feel like you were going to do, you can back up and be able to think about how you will be able to accomplish them goals for when times get back normal. For today, I wanted to talk about why it's more important to look at how you treat others instead of how others treat you. When you look at workplaces, a lot of places that pay good, have good benefits, have a great work environment, great people to work there, are places that they look at and they say to themselves, how can we make other people want to work here? There's a lot of places that people are unhappy to work at, and a lot of the reasons that they are unhappy working there is because they're looking at what other people could do for them. They're looking at how much money that other people can make them. They're looking at, how much money they're paying to people and what kind of production they're getting from them. In me looking at one of my problems, and a lot of problems that I have with other people, is we don't think about paying it forward. There's a lot of situations where I look at people and, they may do nice things for strangers, but they always are looking at the people around them in the sense of, what have you done for me lately? They're looking at, man, I done done this, I done done that, I done done this, I done done that, and you have done what? It's easy to get mad when you're thinking about what you do for other people and what they should be returning back to you. It's hard to get mad at you being a good person and never caring about what people get back to you, just caring that if you got it, you're able to give it. When you look at people that were important for charity, when you look at charity, charities aren't asking for you to return the energy. There's places that people aren't asking for you to return the energy. They're asking for you to pay it forward when you're able to. When you look at people that have changed their lives and went out to go do great things with their lives, they weren't asked to give back. They didn't even look at the person. They wanted to give back, and they probably did, but they weren't asked to give back in any type of way, but give all that you got to go where I know you could go. Make the right decisions so that when you are able to be in that position, you're able to move in the way that you need to advance yourself into that position, to prove that you deserve that position, to prove that you should stay in that position. What did somebody give them? Probably free everything. Free support, free clothes, free free knowledge, free a lot of things are given to people. And some things aren't asked in return. Except for that person to be able to do what they need to do. Now you get mad when you do give that to a person and they don't go out there and do their thing. But it's not to give back to you, it's to give to themselves. You gave all that effort, you gave all that love and support, and you were looking for them to go to a place where you knew they were able to go. It's easy to be mad at that. It's hard to be mad at somebody sitting here saying, hey man, when you make it, it's easy to be mad at, it's easy to make yourself mad at somebody saying, when you make it, give me my money back, and they make it and you don't give you nothing back. It sounds like something the mafia or a bank would do. People don't like banks, but they love treating people like banks. People don't like dictators, but they love treating someone like a dictator. I've gotten a lot of money recently, and it never was because of the fact that I owed somebody and they were like, hey, you got to pay me back. I've gotten a lot of money and putting in work. I got a lot of money in, benefits and in having things happen in my life that would have money coming in. But it was never to, hey, you owe us this back, you owe us this back, you owe us this back. And in that, I took that same thing and then I started to apply it to myself. Hey, man, here's some money. Here's this, here's that. You don't owe me nothing back. I remember a guy, I was working out and I set my headphones down on a table. I went to go around the corner, went to go work out. Went to go put on my clothes, sorry. And I came back to where those headphones should have been and they were gone. I seen the person that most likely had my headphones, Bluetooth headphones, nice ones, weren't expensive, but you know what I'm saying, I was low in money. But I had enough to get another one. I knew I would have enough to get another one. I knew that, later on, in a couple of days, I would have the money to get a new pair. So I went looking for the guy that took my headphones. And when I didn't see him, I decided that they were gone. I said, hey man, if he not down here, they're gone. Well, as soon as I decided that, he came right out the door. I ran up on him. And I was like, hey man, you took my headphones. It's like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. I don't know what you're talking about. Those headphones were sitting in, on the table, desk, shelf, whatever you want to call it. And he was like, oh, you're talking about these ones. And he pulled them out. And I said, yeah, those are mine. He's like, oh, man, I'm so sorry. I said, look, man, I'm going to tell you like this. You keep those. I had already decided that they were gone. But I'll tell you this much. Don't go stealing no more. You got some good headphones. You don't need to steal them. It made me feel better to give them to a guy, because if you stole, in my mind, it feels like you needed it. You couldn't ask for it. You were scared of a no. And you just wanted that so bad that you would be sneaky enough to get it. I went and got another pair. Then I moved into my apartment. This was the time that I was homeless that had happened. But I moved into my apartment and I've had 19, 20 pairs of headphones since then. But what if I was so into protecting myself that everything was something that I could not give away? Most of that stuff would have been taken from me anyways. We got things that, materialistic things that we are happy to have. We feel so obligated to hold on to it for morals of somebody taking it from us, or for morals of, what it is, how much it costs. But in the same sense, it could be took from you just like that. Some people ride around in a car, they call it a baby, they care for that car so much, they try to protect it from everything, and then they get into a car accident and the car's gone. You have a house that, that you love so much and you care for so much and you do everything for it, and then next thing you know, you lose your job and you can't afford it. You have things that go up missing, not because somebody stole them, but just because you dropped them out of your pocket and it's gone. I ain't had so much stuff drop out of my pocket in years and years on end up having it, and it hurt so bad that it was gone, but I moved on and I most likely got another one. And you're probably thinking to yourself, well, what does it go back to people? Where does it go back to your point? My point is that it has come to a point where treating somebody good and not expecting it back is more important to me than somebody treating me good because I treated them good. I have people that have came into that I've actually, didn't cut off, but I shortened my ties with because of the fact that it felt like I had allowed them to think in a matter that something about me was easy for them to get over on me when it comes to how they want to handle someone like me. I've never been the person that, and I'll back it up. They would try to prepare themselves for how they had to handle me in certain situations. They didn't care that I was caring. They didn't care that I was smart. They didn't care that I was true. They didn't care that, a shirt will come off my back. For them, what they cared about is if they were in front of me at all situations. And for me, that hurt because I don't look at them in the same type of way. How I looked at them was, how does the best come out for them? How could they get better? How can I get better? How can we get better? I became more confident in myself because I put myself in a leader role in my mind. So representing a lot of situations in leadership is something that I felt like I would be able to do. But if I wasn't able to lead, I would surely be able to follow so that they were able to advance themselves. But in all sense of the situation, they were more into staying in front. Even when it was a situation that would seem like it was my time, if it was not one that benefited them, it didn't seem like they wanted that to happen. In most situations, when it's somebody that's egotistical, they like to think that it was their idea that they came up with something. So they'll act like they're not listening to you, and then later on, they'll come back and, act as if it was their decision to make it. They'll probably give you your props for it, but they will act like it was their decision to even say yes to your idea. I don't think like that. We all have our time. I know my time isn't every time. So when it ain't my time, it's time for me to back up and show support. No matter how I feel about the person, the situation, whatever is going on. The best way to get better results is if it's that person's time and you let them through. I don't know if people are all comfortable with that situation. So in that, I felt like it would be best for me to separate myself because I spoke up on it, but probably not early enough to give the type of environment that says that we shouldn't do that and show the benefits of not being able to do that, and their mind became comfortable in being able to do that. I felt like I should take myself out of the situation before I allowed them to continue to be toxic in that type of way. I've had two solid people in my life that I regret losing because they believed in me cold-heartedly and I did not believe in myself. And some people believe in you just not more than they believe in themselves. And being able to grow in that type of situation is something that they were not able to be comfortable with. Because of that, they would step on toes. They would try to abase a person, condescend them. It just didn't feel good. So having more confidence in yourself to be able to say this is not the situation that I feel like we both should be in is something that came at a time that I wish would have happened earlier. But if it must happen, it must happen. And that's okay. One thing that I know is that the Bible says that a prophet is not accepted in his hometown. And that reason most likely is because they got used to who you were before you started to get that confidence to be able to go do what you were supposed to do. So in you turning the corner on the situation and becoming somebody that they were not comfortable with probably makes them feel uncomfortable because they have already prepared to treat you in a certain type of way. So in that, sometimes it is okay for you to relocate yourself to a different situation where you can become that person. Now, don't get me wrong, because a lot of people listen to something like this and they think that I'm talking about in a relationship. Oh man, yeah, my girl doesn't believe, or my man doesn't believe in me. Yeah, it's time for me to leave. No, most likely they do believe in you already. Most likely have stated stuff to you that shows that they believe in you already. But you haven't stepped up to that plate, so they still complain in the way that they do. One thing I know about relationships is that the other person knows that you can go far in what you do. Especially when it's women towards men. A lot of women will believe in their man to be something great. To be something incredible. And if he doesn't believe in himself, they get irritated on that because they want to grow. They're growing. But they don't see the growth inside of the person that they decided they wanted to be around for a long time. Causes irritation. Two people I was around got very irritated with me because I didn't show signs of growth. I didn't show signs of the man that they believed me to be and the man that I stated that I was. So because of that, they had to move around, which was a great decision for them. As much pain as I feel for them being gone, like I said before, I most likely got comfortable being the type of person that they were not wanting to stay around, and I needed to separate myself to see that. So because of that, I agree. Mother Teresa. Well, just imagine if Mother Teresa was a person that was like, oh, I gave you guys food and all that other stuff, and where's my food now? Imagine if Superman was like, I'm saving y'all all the time. When y'all gonna save me? Now I'm done with this. Or other superheroes said that. Or other people in the community, firefighters. I'm always putting your fire out, but you ain't never put mine out. I'm done here. Because these people don't care. They ain't never, ever looking at my house and saying, well, I don't have this going on. And they don't ever jump in and be like, well, let me help you out. Let me stop that from happening to your house. Because you a firefighter. Just imagine. So a lot of the times that we are in those situations and we decide to go the way of being mad, we're actually poisoning ourselves by continuing to think that we're owed something. Only person that owes us is ourselves. I owe the past person an apology. I owe them two people an apology, but I owe the past person an apology. Because who I am now is a person that would not allow myself to be that type of person. I wish I would have seen it earlier. But since I didn't, I swear to that older me, the younger me, I want to say older me, but backwards me, back in time me, that I wouldn't go back to who he was to feel the way that he did, to think in the same way that he did, to be able to get the situations that he got. Because it pained him to go through that. It pained him a lot to go through the things that he went through because of the way that he thought he should handle the situation, or that he should be thinking about the situation. Pains me to know that he thought that way. So I'm never going back to that thinking process, no matter what. In shortening things up so we can get it moving along, care for you enough to care for others. Even when they don't care for you in the way that you want them to. It is more caring for yourself to give without wanting to receive back. In that, this has been Improvement Podcast. Thank you for your time. Still ain't came up with nothing good yet, but it's coming. And I'm out.